Building a successful business without sacrificing the rest of your life or other areas of your life. That's exactly what we are going to cover in our today's show. Welcome to Freedom Entrepreneurship, where we are answering one question. How can we have growth and freedom? Or if you're lacking freedom at the moment, how can you regain freedom as an entrepreneur? My name is Stephan Poschik. Let's get started. Today I want to talk about something where most entrepreneurs and business owners really have a hard time. And where also society is telling us a couple of really weird norms where and how we should approach certain things of our business or certain things of our life. So let's be honest, when I started as an entrepreneur, I was 19 years old. So I was very young, and I literally did not think about how do I work when I'm 40? How do I work when I'm 60? How does my retirement look? How do I want to spend my life? But one thing was clear for me. I wanted to have the financial freedom. I wanted to have the entrepreneurial success, but I also wanted to have a life. And here it immediately started to get pretty tricky for myself. Why? Because I tapped into an area that's very related to founder psychology or entrepreneurial mindset. So what does this mean? I started to watch other entrepreneurs. And I started to take a look how other entrepreneurs did it. And most success stories I saw, or most successful people I talked to, they told me more or less the same, which is, okay, you need to sacrifice, you need to hustle, you need to grind, you need to fully focus on business. Financial things are the only things that matters until you really figured it out. And on and on, which is true when it comes to business and when it comes to building a successful business. But what I also saw is very few entrepreneurs really make it. So when you take a look on how many entrepreneurs become successful as a business owner, it's horrible. Because literally 97% of all businesses fail within the first 10 years. So now here's the question. What's the picture or what's the situation? How does this look like? I hustle and grind my ass off for 10 years to fail, to not get the financial success, to not get the business success, to not have a life 10 years because I sacrificed everything else over 10 years. And what's then? Probably just 3 years, probably 10 years, probably 7 years. Okay, so that was already one thing where I said, oh, okay, that's just a stupid concept. That's just something which doesn't make any sense when you think about it logically. Okay, but now comes the really interesting thing. Let's talk about the few businesses that make it long-term and become successful long-term. So we are already talking about a very small amount of business owners because most of them unfortunately go out of business or fail. So the few that make it, most of them really just hustle and grind and sacrifice everything in their business because everything is centered around their business. And then they probably even become financially successful and they become very successful business-wise. But what's the price? And here's the next thing what I saw when I started as a young entrepreneur. I saw a lot of old, back then even 40 was old, or 50 or 60 was very old. Now I'm in my 40s myself, and it's nothing. But back then I saw old guys or old gals that had tremendous financial success or business success, but most of them sacrificed their health. They had terrible relationships. They had failed marriages multiple times. They had 3 different kids with 4 different partners, or 4 different kids with 3 different partners. They did not talk to their kids because the relationship was devastated. They had not a social network when it comes to joy. Of course, they had big business networks, but not something where they really enjoyed their free time. They basically sacrificed all their interests, all their hobbies, everything they like to do for business, and a lot of other things. And so this really got me thinking at a very, very young age. And it brought me into a situation where I had a hard time to figure out, okay, what is the right path for myself, and how do I want to build my businesses? How do I want to grow my businesses? Because it was clear for me, I don't want to hustle my ass off for 40 years and not have anything else in my life. In planning to be financially very wealthy or rich, and then after 10, 20, 60, 40 years, whatever, I have the money that I can have a great life. Yeah, but fuck, then I'm 60, I'm old, probably my health is gone, nobody likes me anymore because I became an asshole on the way. I have 3 failed marriages, my kids hate me, my grandkids, I don't even know them because they don't want to speak to me, and then I'm rich? Okay, great. No, really, that was not what I wanted to do. That was for sure not the plan and the entrepreneurial path. So I started to search for different role models and different entrepreneurs where I saw, okay, they have the financial success, they have the business success, but they also have the life they want, or they have a life I also would love to have. And that is still today one of the hardest things to find. Literally one of the hardest things to find. It's so much easier to find financially successful entrepreneurs and business owners compared to finding somebody who is financially successful and also is living the life they want to have and they deserve. And that's one of the core principles what Freedom Entrepreneurship is all about. Because Freedom Entrepreneurship is around how can I have it all? How can I have both? How can I have the growth, the business, the financial success? But how can I also have the life I deserve? The life I want, the life I enjoy to live, the life I really, really are passionate about, to get up in the morning and feel energized and really love the coming day because so many cool things are coming my way. Yeah? And I started to search for a lot of other people and entrepreneurs, and I found very few. But one thing what I personally figured out is that I came up with a concept what I originally learned from a personal development trainer, personality trainer, also at a very young age. But then I just adapted it for my business purposes. And this concept I call the life wheel. And that's what I want to share in the next couple of minutes with you. So what is the life wheel? When you think about your life in general, think about 8 areas on how you can split up your whole life. And these 8 areas need to be on a very, very top level. And these 8 areas need to really consider every single aspect you have in your life and that is important for your life. Okay, let me give you an example. I tell you what my 8 areas are, and then you can think what your 8 areas are and what we are going to do with this life wheel. So, entrepreneurs, of course, one of the 8 areas is finances, because finances are a very important KPI for our businesses, and we need to make money with our companies, period. The next thing is education, skill set. Why education? Because I personally have something that I call lifelong learning. And this actually also brought me to the place where I am in the meantime with my companies. Why? Because I needed to learn way more after I finished my education and after I finished school to become a successful entrepreneur, to become a great dad, to become all the roles I inherit or basically I do in my daily life. So lifelong learning is extremely important. Now, with AI, the last couple of years, I mean, if you are not open to lifelong learning and adapt to AI and adapt to this new technology, you're going to be out of business anyway in a couple of years because other competitors are going to be faster and more efficient and more effective and more cost efficient than you are. So we need to learn. And that's why this is one of the core segments of my life wheel. So now, what's the next one? The next one is my personality. My personality, how my entrepreneurial mindset is, what are things that are very important for me, and on and on. I give a couple more examples later. The next area of my life wheel is health. Health when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to hydration, when it comes to exercise, when it comes to longevity, when it comes to disease prevention, when it comes to all the proactive stuff I can do. And actually, health is one of my core values in my life anyway. But every single person on this planet needs to have health as one of his core 8 areas in his life. So what's the next one for me? The next one for me is, I call it social. And in the area of social, I have 3 main areas what I have there. So first of all, I have my family there. And when I talk about my family, I'm talking about my mom, my grandparents, my uncles, and my relatives. So this is the family. I'm not talking about my significant other or my own son. So other segments. So social is my family. The next thing is my friends and my network. This is also in social. And the third thing is my social impact. What is my social impact? For example, every single year we are supporting from my companies, we are supporting either programs for animals or programs for kids. So in the last couple of years, the schools here in the area where my businesses are located, they always improve their exercise material. They always improve their rooms where kids can train more, where kids can have more exercise, more health. And we are just donating an amount for this. Or on the other hand side, training service dogs. These are things I just do. I don't talk about them a lot because I think when you're doing great things like that, you don't need to talk about them. I just do them because they are important for me, and that's where I can have a social impact and I can give something back. Social impact is also if you probably have a business or a product or a service where your product and your service is already generating a social impact in a positive way, please. Okay, so what do I mean? When you are doing coaching or consulting, or you are a personal trainer or a nutrition coach, and you are helping other people get healthier or get fit or can walk again or lose a bunch of weight and regain their health or their energy, or when you help other people grow and scale their business to be more abundant, to be more free, to earn more money, to have better financial opportunities, that's also a social contribution where you just generate an impact. So this is also in the area of social. So now that's the first areas. Now let's go to the next area. The next area is my significant other, so my partner in life. And the next area is my son. So here is a very important and very interesting thing. You probably recognized I split up my family into 3 different sections. I have my family, so my mom, my dad, my other family in social. I have my significant other in one specific segment, and then I have my son in one specific segment. Why do I do that? Because a lot of people are putting family into one bucket, which is a big mistake. Let's talk about my son and my significant other. You know what? There are things that are very different that I want to do and experience with my significant other compared to things I want to do and experience with my son. Okay, so these two different areas have very different value systems and very different goals, and very different activities are attached to it. Also, my son is at a completely different age range than my significant other. Okay, same again, different things. My significant other is interested in completely different things that my son is interested in. The life path or the goals, what I want to accomplish with my significant other, is completely different than the life path and the life goal, what my son and myself as a father want to accomplish together with him. Okay, that's the reason why I split up these two areas. And why do I have the rest of the family also in a specific bucket? You probably heard about couples where the relationship is very good, but with the parents of your significant other, it's just a pain in the ass, or where you probably with your own parents have a hard time, or your significant other with your parents has a hard time, or you have messed up people in your family and completely weird people you don't want to have around you, and on and on and on and on. Yeah, okay, look, if you put all them together in the same bucket with your significant other, with your girlfriend or with your wife, you're always going to mix up these emotions. You're always going to mix up this bullshit that's going on probably in one area, but in the other area it's extremely good. So that's why you absolutely should select these people into different areas or different segments. Yeah. So 7 out of 8 are done. And guess what? Number 8, we are all business owners. Of course, it's our business. It's the company. It's the stuff what we are doing to grow and scale also from a financial perspective. So now let's just repeat these 8 segments. First one is finance. Second one is education. Third one is my personality. Fourth one is health. The next one is social, then my significant other, then my son, then my business. And now it's your turn. What are your 8 areas? What are the 8 most important areas that really cover everything in your life? And a bunch of them are going to be the same, but there are probably 1, 2, 3 areas that might be different for you. Because if you do not have kids, okay, no problem, you will not have a specific segment for kids. Or if you don't want to have kids, that's totally fine. Then you will not have this specific area. Probably you are very spiritual. You are very into religion. You are very into whatever. Yeah. Then maybe your spirituality, your religion is one of these areas. And that's totally fine. Yeah. Maybe you want to split the social area differently. Okay. But like I said, you really need to think about what are your 8 areas, and you do not have more than 1, 2, maximum 3 where you can change. Because here are the non-negotiables you need to have in your life wheel. Finances, learning, so your education, your skill level, your personality, your entrepreneurial mindset, health, your business, your significant other, if you don't have a significant other, whatever you want or you have in this area. And social, because we are social people, we are social beings, we are humans, and we need some type of social connections or friends or a network or whatever, social contribution, however you want to play that. So these are things you need to have in your life wheel. And you see, 1, 2, maximum 3, you can adapt a little bit or you can switch, but the others are in your life wheel. And when you have your 8 areas together, now rate yourself. Rate yourself on a scale from 1 to 10. In every single area, 1 to 10. So 1 would be horrible. Everything fails, shitty area, doesn't work out at all at the moment, big construction area. 10 would be perfect. That's exactly how I want to have it. That's exactly where I want to be. That's exactly how it should be for the rest of your life. Then you rate yourself 1 to 10. Every single area, 1 to 10. And now you can think about, oh shit, probably I have a couple of 1s, a couple of 3s, 1 8, another 9, but somewhere between, let's say 1, 3, 8, 9, maybe even a 10. But when you think about the wheel now, and you have 8 segments, and every single segment is developed differently. So one is just very small with 1, 2, 3. One is perfect with 10, another is at 5, then you have something at 7. You see the issue because your life wheel is not round. It has a lot of not round areas. And now you try to roll it and it will not roll. And here is your answer why life probably feels hard, not funny, not fulfilling, you don't experience freedom, and a lot of other things are probably not going the way you want to have it. Because your life wheel is not round. That's exactly what we are going to discuss in a next section, where and how you can get your life wheel round again. But for now, figure out what are your 8 areas, figure out what exactly is your number, 1 to 10. And in our next episode, we are going to cover on how you can work with that and how you can improve it. So for now, I wish you a wonderful and successful time and a lot of success. See you soon. Bye for now.